Supernatural Season 11, Episode 2, Form and Void. Definitely a great second episode for the season because we got some pretty cool stuff out of this. We got sort of an answer to the stuff with Amara and how her abilities are going to make her like an actual villain, with her not only taking people's souls, which is really cool because we know how awesome that can be with people just not caring and just doing stuff they want to try, which apparently for some people is just like, I always wanted to, try to slice your throat. So not only do we have soulless people who are just going to be walking around causing chaos, but we're also going to have the darkness. And I'm hoping that that does kind of spread a lot. I'm hoping that that has an effect on people, which won't be too hard for them to handle now that we've gotten the cure, which I kind of couldn't believe Sam figured it out. I was like, I was really surprised that he actually found a cure. I just thought something else is going to happen and he'll be saved, sure, but that'll be it. They'll still be looking for a cure. But he figured it out, saved himself, he saved 3 other people. I'm assuming they saved, the rest of the people in the town. But that was kind of cool, and that explains the Ring of Fire thing that they have for all the trailers, which unfortunately isn't our actual title card. And I didn't mention that in the last review, but I don't like the one that we have. I was like, oh, it's not the Ring of Fire, it's just, the words and that's it. I was like, that kind of sucks, but at least we get to see it, when they, preview the next episode. So I'm okay with that. At least get to see it, and it makes sense now why it's a Ring of Fire. It's not just a cool design. It's because that's basically the cure. Set people up in a ring of fire using holy oil, and it'll cure them. So that's kind of cool that's, that they've basically, kind of defeated one half of the darkness, but the soulless thing, I think, is going to be much more entertaining because we've seen Sam without a soul, and it's not that the people are bad. It's just that in the supernatural universe, not having a soul basically just means you're amoral, so you're like, meh, I just do what I like to do, and that's pretty much it. So I'm hoping that happens a lot, and we get to see how they work this stuff out. Like, who knows what that's going to mean for these people that lose their souls. I'm assuming Amara taking people's souls is going to make her grow really quick, so we'll get a couple of different actresses to play Amara until she's like a full-grown adult. And then who knows what power she'll have then, because we found out she has like telekinesis just like pretty much any other demon. So that was fairly interesting. And it showed that she was conscious enough, even in baby form. The darkness itself knows certain things, and the darkness can be like, hey, feed me, I'm effing hungry. So it kind of explained that. So she's going to have powers. Of course, it was very Lilith as well. Like, once it got to the end and it was a little girl, I was like, well, that's just Lilith now. So that was the first thing I thought when she was a little girl. I thought she instantly became like the adult version. But once I found out it was like, oh, this is actually just a little girl, I was like, well, that just makes me think of Lilith. And plus, she even had the skirt and everything. I was like, that is full-on Lilith. She's just a redhead little girl. So that was interesting. I don't think there'll be too many more parallels outside of the fact that, evil and little girl. But I'm excited to see where they take that character. I'm really excited for the soulless stuff because I just want to see how that affects multiple people, because it's almost like the darkness, but they can't just put these people in the ring of fire. They're going to have their souls stolen and stealing. Wow. They're going to have their souls stolen, and there's not really much of a cure for that. It's like they went through a bunch of crap just for Sam himself to get his soul. I can't imagine what they're going to be doing for all these people that Crowley is going to be kidnapping, because of course he gets what he wants. So, he finds Amara at the end, and it's just like he's going to be feeding her souls upon souls, and there's just going to be dozens of people walking around probably just killing each other like it's no big deal. So, not too sure how that's going to play out, but I'm looking forward to it since, they kind of defeat the darkness, or they at least defeat the plague version of the darkness, and now we have like the soulless half, which I'm glad that happened, because, with the cure, it's like, oh, well, now they're just going to, splash you in holy oil, or just have it near you, because they didn't even have to be in it. It just had to be really close, so they could just pin someone against the wall, and here's a torch, and just wave it in their face, they're cured. So with that cure having been found, I am really glad that we have this new aspect of something they can't possibly cure. They can't just, get people's souls back. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be exciting. Something they throw in this episode that was really cool was the Reaper in this episode. I like her introduction and how she mentions, like, people are kind of done, we as Reapers are done dealing with you and your brother because, the boss thought it was funny, but we will, once you're dead, we'll take your soul and you won't go to heaven or hell. We'll toss you into the empty, which opened up a huge question for me, like, what the heck is that? Because she didn't say purgatory, so, what does that mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think they'll really give us, like, a full explanation of what the empty really is, but when she said that, I was like, that is not something that we've ever heard of. It's just something. Who knows? It's probably the same place the angels were sent when they were trapped in human bodies and Dean, like, cast them away. It's probably the same place. They're just somewhere. They're gone. But that was really cool. She's like, if you guys bite the dust, you are dead for sure. So Sam and Dean aren't going to die in this season. And if they do, that'll be very interesting because the angels, they're past caring at this point. They aren't getting any orders to save Sam or Dean Winchester, so they aren't going to save anybody, at least not Sam and Dean. They can't make a deal with death because they killed death, so who knows when we're going to get a new death or who's going to take over in that position. And then that's pretty much it. Crowley, can't do much because it's the Reapers first, so the Reapers are the ones who come first, and then it's heaven or hell or nothing. So first and foremost, it's the Reapers, and they will make the ultimate choice. So we probably won't see Sam or Dean dying this season, which some people might be excited for just because it's like no one's going to die and back and forth. So I guess that's pretty good, and it'll actually be dangerous for them, which at the same time doesn't mean anything because they're the main character. So if someone says, oh, you will die permanently, then they just aren't going to die this season. We can pretty much guess that. And if they do, like I said, that'll be awesome. That would be very exciting. Another really great thing is possibly, I don't know if this is really God or what, but the visions that Sam got, like the stuff that was seemingly hell, I don't know if that was really God. Like God is just something in this series, and it's like, even in the scene with Sam in the chapel praying, even when he was waiting, I was waiting because I'm like, they could do it. I don't really know. And I was on pins and needles just like him. I was like, maybe they'll do it this time, but they don't. Maybe. And then maybe they do, because that could have been totally random, but it would be really weird if it was nothing. So maybe that really was a sign from God. And if it is, that's pretty freaking awesome. Like, that's just cool. Even if it's the smallest little vision. Also, the fact that it's most likely stuff from hell. There wasn't much of a background to it. It was just like the hooks in them and stuff, so I'm not really sure. But it could have been the cage, so it could just be complete darkness in there. So it would make sense, but we've kind of had those visions as well. Same sort of deal. So I don't know if that was a vision from God. If it was, full speculation, it kind of makes it seem like God needs Sam or someone to go to the cage and open it up. Because it's like, here's images of you in the cage. The cage is important. Someone we still don't really know which of our two characters in the cage was, freaking out. I feel like it was probably Lucifer. I don't know why. I guess just because it's the devil. I feel like he'd be like one of the oldest. He'd be older than even the other angels. So I would just assume that it was Lucifer. Plus, if it was, then it would be like, well, easy way to bring him back in, and it's super awesome because everyone wants him. But I'm excited. I hope that it was God. I hope that it's something to do with the cage. They mentioned the cage, period, in the last episode. Then we have this stuff, and it's like, it's like they got two really big things happening where possibly God is getting involved, and possibly we're going to see a return of the cage. We might at least see them go to the cage, which would be something. Like, I don't know if Dean there would obviously be an argument, Sam and Dean, like, figuring out, like, who should go, and neither of us should go, we both should go together, all that. If they even have to, that'll, of course, happen, but I'm excited for it. It's, at least speculation-wise, it seems really awesome, like they're leading up to something that we've been waiting for a very long time, so I love that scene. Hopefully it meant something. Hopefully Sam really made a connection to a character that's God, and we just haven't seen him. It's just like, I'm around. I hear stuff. I see stuff. I clearly don't care because angels falling out of the sky. Lucifer just running wild. I'm just like, meh, he's off like on the beach or something, I guess, who knows. But it's an exciting little moment. Who knows if it'll lead to anything special, but they're at least, hopefully they're not playing with us because that would suck, but they're showing us something, so that got me really excited. The stuff with Dean in this episode was pretty cool, just him dealing with Crowley, dealing with the stuff with Amara, and it is official that he's basically attached to Amara, and that's why he was so protective of the girls, because she's the darkness, and his drive is to protect her just like hers is to protect him. So it was basically officially shown. I didn't even think of that until I saw some other reviews, but I was like, oh, well, that does make sense. And now it's just official. It's like he has this drive because they're bonded now. So that should be interesting, because she's obviously the villain of this season, and she's going to be just sucking up souls the whole time. He doesn't want Crowley to hurt her, but that's not what Crowley even wants. And then with her being evil, what is Dean gonna do? Because of course Sam is gonna come in and be like, well, she's sapping souls left and right. We gotta take her down, and then we're gonna have brother versus brother again, which I wouldn't hate. I think that'll just be very interesting, because it wouldn't exactly be Demon Dean, but it would almost be like demon controlled Dean in a sense, because he'd be bonded by letting the darkness free, and he would know that too, and he just still wouldn't be able to stop it. It would just be like this new instinct that he has and this drive to protect Amara, despite the fact that he might not even want to as the season continues on. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully they have that dilemma where he's just like, how do I stop something that I'm attached to? And it would be similar to like him and Sam, but it would be like he can't stop himself. That's different than like, oh, I gotta stop Sam from doing something bad. This is like, I want to stop this thing that's basically got me under control, and I can't attack it even though I'm with it like all the time, because I feel like there's going to be a point where he ends up splitting off from Sam, and it's going to be him and Amara, but he can't do anything because of their bond. So maybe we'll get to see that as well. But love this episode. I thought it was actually really cool. We got the cure pretty quickly, which I don't mind because of the soul thing, and it seemed like that was the start of it, and I guess they kind of took that off because I mentioned this in the premiere. I was hoping it would be kind of like the Croatoan virus, because that's what they couldn't ever really seem to stop, and now they cured it, so it's kind of the weaker version of the Croatoan virus. But now we have the soul stealing stuff and the more important version, because I thought Amara was going to be a baby for a long time, and then it's like, no, she steals the soul, she grows a little bit. I would assume after stealing 5 other souls, she would grow like into a teenager, or she should be a full adult, because she took one as a baby, and it was like she aged into like an 8-year-old girl from an infant. So if she ate like 5 people, she should instantly be like mid-20s and be like, all right, and boom, we have our final actress. But I'm sure they'll change it up, and maybe she needs more as she gets older, and it'll be just way more people compared to how many years she skipped. Like she skipped, we'll say 9 if she did become a 10-year-old, and she'll need like 100 or something just to go to like 18, and then thousands to become like 20 something. But I like this episode. I thought it was pretty cool. Sam, it was kind of funny. Like in the beginning when he tricked the guy with this really old film, like I don't know where he got that footage from on his phone, but when he tricked the guy using his phone to like bring one of the infected people to him, he did the same thing with a radio at the end. I just thought that was kind of funny. Like he's just using random, video clips and music. I was like, it was just funny that it happened twice to me, because I've never seen him do that I can recall. But I enjoyed his portion of the storyline. We got, a new Reaper who may or may not become important. We got, stuff with Dean and Crowley and Dean's connection to Amara stealing people's souls. I was surprised they killed off Jenna. I thought for sure she was going to be like a main character this season, or at least, episodes in and out. But they, Crowley just took her out center straight up. She came straight down. So we got that, and then we have Cass's storyline as well, which was fairly condensed in this, and I was really excited for the preview, because it seems like they all, they find each other, because Cass is at the end. He's actually in the bunker, which is exactly the same from the last season, and I was like, oh yeah, it was only like a day. Basically, it was like a day or 2 days difference. So everything looks the same as it did from the last season. And so we got Cass at the end. He's still infected. He gets taken in by the two angels from the last episode. They're beating him up and stuff. And then we get Hannah, who's seemingly there to rescue him. And it's like they just want answers because they, of course, assume he's responsible because he's working with Sam and Dean. And then they kill Hannah, which I was very surprised by. And it was like nothing. It was like the one angel, he didn't give a crap, stab Hannah straight through the head. And then Cass had to take him down. And I was like, man, that really sucks that they killed off Hannah because Hannah was important, you know? And it's like, oh, well, Hannah's gone now. So they kind of just was like, bye, Hannah, and she's gone. And as far as we know, angels don't come back from that stuff. I would love to see that get introduced. That would be insane if we got to see angels resurrect. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. I was very surprised that that took place. They, you know, the one guy, I guess, threatened her / him because she was in a guy's body. But yeah, the one guy threatened Hannah was like, you know, I'll end you if you get in the way. But with Cass breaking free of his own accord, I didn't think that the guy would just stab Hannah in the back of the head, like as if it was Hannah's fault or anything. It was just like, well, you pissed Cass off. You broke out, killed the first guy, and I was just thinking, because he was kind of in the background and stuff for most of it, and then he was the first one that died. I was like, man, the other dude just got him completely killed in the beginning. So I just thought that was kind of funny. It's like, man, he was trying to keep things in order, and then he was the first one that died because the other guy was just kind of losing his mind and getting really pissed off. So Cass takes all of them out. He's by himself, and now he's with Sam and Dean, but he's still infected. We're going to get the episode where he's chasing down like this girl, and he's basically going after people. So I'm looking forward to that. But I definitely enjoyed this episode. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And now that we have this new version of Amara, and we find out that her thing is not actually infecting people, but stealing souls, possibly to infect more people, because that could be the case. What do you guys think is going to happen with her character? Because we officially have it where Dean is, of course, bonded to her, and he has this drive to protect her. And then we have her and Crowley, which is a terrible combination. If Crowley can team up with the main villain, that's never great. So who knows how that's going to work out. He's going to learn about the darkness. She may or may not learn more about the current situation of the world, because of course she's been gone since, I guess, the beginning of time in a weird way. The beginning of human time, I guess. So who knows how that stuff is going to play out, but it's definitely going to be interesting. Plus, we have Rowena in the next episode. That has nothing to do with the question, but I just thought about that for the promo. She's going to be in it too, which is really cool. But I want to know what you guys think is going to happen with Amara as like this main villain, and finding out about, you know, her abilities, the telekinesis stuff, and then her need to feed on human souls as a part of her being the darkness. Like, I just want to know what you guys think about that. So please comment below and let me know. And thanks for watching.